Yo, 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 guys, welcome to today's video. Today's video will be a bit short. I was scrolling through the markets and I came to this market known as US 500, which is the same as the S&P 500. So I was looking at the S&P 500 yesterday and I was like, fuck, I really missed a very powerful long-term trade, which I don't think I would have held for that long, but it would have given me a good risk-reward ratio. Look at this. A perfect indication, a perfect correction during market glitch. You will have executed a buy at this area, placed your stop loss there, then target fucking 1 is to 2 or 1 is to 3, maybe 1 is to 2. Let's go with 1 is to 2. But I fucking missed that, bruv. Fucking missed that. I don't know why. So let's go to now the normals, the usuals. So in this case, the trade. Okay, let me reverse. Let me reverse. The trade that I was talking about. It's this one. It's this one. This gold and this Bitcoin trade, and I've posted it. People have not yet seen the post yet. But if you look at this trade, the entry and the exit was extremely calculated, well calculated, and a good risk reward of 1 is to 2. So that is the trade. And what I want to do right now, I want to delete. I want to delete. Okay, let me just delete everything, and we'll start a fresh analysis. We start a fresh analysis. So we go into the 4 hour time frame. What we want to see is we want to see trend alignment. The trend alignment is we want to see price moving at one direction in both time frames. As you can see in the 4 hour time frame, sellers, the red means sellers, blues means buyers. The red, if you want the indicator, you can go to indicators or tap there, indicators. Sorry, I can't remember the last time I was looking for an indicator. So just search pivot point highs and lows. You will need to start this, not the other ones, this strictly. Then you come, you move into the inputs, and then you change the periods to 10, and then pivot high, you maintain the color black, and also the low you maintain the color black. Now because in the highs we have fucking sellers, we want to place red at the seller's point and blue at the buyer's point. Do you understand that? So niggas, let us continue with the fucking analysis. It is a very good trade. If you look at this, you can literally see that price reached this level and bounced back up. We didn't have any candlestick closure beneath this swing low, so the 4 hour time frame is extremely bullish. I want to jump to the 1 hour time frame, and the 1 hour time frame, we're looking at an opportunity to execute trade. So the trade that I have showed you is this one around here. I've executed buys there, placed your stops that level, take profit target. I think it was around, I don't remember, I think it was around. So that was the first trade. The second trade, which I didn't see because I couldn't even, if even I had seen it, I wouldn't have entered the trade. Basically because even if I place my horizontal ray at the end of the week, it's not even a retest. So this is just a swing low. But for me to execute a trade, I want to see a good correction like in this case. So this is the trade that you can execute right now as we speak. But I'd advise you not to. Let us wait for this candlestick to close in the next 23 minutes so that we can see what price has in store for us during New York session. However, we are in New York session, so if this candlestick closes bullish, it means that the rest of the trend is going to be fucking bullish. So we want to zoom into the lower time frame, maybe something like 30 minutes, and look at the candlestick patterns. Yeah, if you look at this is a bullish, it's a bullish sign. If you ever see this, you know this is a bullish sign. So what you're waiting for the next 23 minutes is you're waiting for this candlestick to close bullish engulfing. If it does that, now the 30 minutes and the 1 hour listen carefully, guys. I don't normally move to the lower time frames. I change everything. So, um, in this situation, you can see this is a bullish engulf in the 15 minutes time frame. 50. So this is a trend shift, and this is why I love the strategy in and of itself. So if you look closely at Bitcoin, we have an indication. This is the indication today during your session. The fuck am I doing? This is the indication during your session. Then this is the correction, what we are seeing. So it is our time to strike back because price has moved back above. Simply what happened is buyers from this low broke above this level of sellers to make a new high. Let me mark this high before the algorithm sees it, to create a new high. So now sellers, the buyers who pushed price to this level started exiting their trades and gave sellers an opportunity to sell, because at this moment sellers who have had executed sales at this area are in losses. So it's like swapping contracts. Buyers are getting out of trade and exchanging their trades for the seller's stop losses, something like that. So when the buyers are getting out of the market, price in turn pushes back to where sellers were. So sellers want to see price come back to where they were so that they can buy back up together with the buyers. You understand the concept? The concept is very simple. Let me repeat it. You sell at this area and push price to the downside, isn't it? You exit some trades. Then buyers buy and they buy against you, but because they are when the sellers were selling out, or when the sellers pushed price down, they exited a few of their trades. There are still some sellers who are holding on to this trade. So what buyers are doing, buyers are buying into sellers to create a new high. After creating the new high, buyers are getting out of the market, simply because at this level we are having maybe stop losses of the fucking sellers. And I'm not sounding like a conspiracy theory that there's something like stop hands. No, it's not. No, that this concept that I'm explaining is happening at institutional levels. They're not targeting a retail trader stop losses. That's a conspiracy theory. So when they get out of the trade, we see price lose momentum now because we don't have enough buyers, but we have enough sellers at this area. But at the same time, there are some sellers who have been pushed, pulled out of their trades. So in turn, what price does, it starts selling. Now price will sell to a certain level, which I'm not interested to know. What I'm interested to see is buyers buying back above the level of sellers. So now you execute the trade at this high. Simple mathematics. Do you understand it, guys? Simple fucking math. So you execute the buys at this level, for example, you place your stop loss at this area. Now, if we place the take profit target at that zone, it's a good risk to reward ratio, isn't it? But what if, because we cannot execute any trade unless we see a bullish candlestick closure above 81,711.25. But what if price continues pulling down, pulling down, pulling down, pulling down? You can clearly see that the risk to reward ratio is continuously getting fat, which means that this trade, regardless of it being a good setup, it has been rendered invalid. So what you want to ask yourself, how am I going to maximize the profit? I.e., how am I going to have a bigger take profit target than the stop loss? So in this situation, you want to look left and you want to estimate where price is going to reach. Understood? We want to see where price is going to reach for us to have a bearish move, which means if we have a bearish move at that level, that is the exit level. Now, when you do that, you'll find out that at 84,487 in the past, we had a level of sellers, which means that price has a higher likelihood for the buyers who are executing the trade to buy into these sellers. So what you do is you mark that level, mark the level. Always look left for better take profit targets if the indication is smaller and the risk reward is bad. So if you look at in this situation, you will find out that, oh my God, now we can have a bigger take profit target. So if by any chance price pushes down, maybe you see price might sell to this level of buyers. Sellers might try to sell into the level of buyers, but because the trend is extremely bullish, once sellers fucking tap into this level, buyers are going to take fucking control and push price back to 84,244. So the take profit target, we'll put it at that point, magnify that. Now we have a better TP level. That is how you go about trading. Simple. So that is Bitcoin for you guys. So this is a trade that you're anticipating. My work is to wait and see how price is going to behave. And guys, you can see how the candlestick is behaving. This is why waiting for candlestick closures is extremely, extremely important. And not only candlestick closures. If you want to execute a trade, you want to see a candlestick closure above a fucking level. Hope you understand that. So yeah, that is Bitcoin for you guys. So we are sitting on our hands waiting to see if it closes at like a pin buy. I have no problem. What I want to see is the next candlestick closing bullish above that level, then execute buys. Yeah, the risk reward ratio will be messed a little bit, but if this is a low, if this is truly a low, we are going to modify the stop loss to this level, increasing our risk to reward ratio. See, so it is a regardless of how Bitcoin is going to behave, this is a good trade. Now, not unless we have an extremely powerful burst above this level, which will force us to enter trade at that area, for example, and put a stop loss there, then we'll have a bad risk to reward ratio. So if that happens, you can't execute the trade. But if you have a simple, humble candlestick closure above this level, now we are good. So that's Bitcoin for you guys. Gold. So I was thinking and I was asking myself, do I have any, like, guys, my mind is not clear at all about how I'm supposed to deal with gold. But what I can see is that gold maybe is trying to make a low at this level, because I hate being confused. If by the guys, rule number one, if you ever enter a market and you are confused, not knowing how the market is going to behave, just don't fucking execute or trade the market. In this situation, you can see the time. It is New York session and price has given us a low. So this trade, according to market structure standards, you can execute buys. But now you see, if you do that, I'll be against the strategy in and of itself. It's true the market structure is proving bullish, but if I do that, I'll be going against my strategy, which means if I take a loss, it will be a me problem. In trading, you want to position yourself in that if you take a loss and you critically analyze yourself, you are not the one who is responsible for the loss. The market should be the one responsible for the fucking loss. So you should not put yourself in positions where when you journal or you analyze yourself, find out that you are wrong. So in this situation, I don't want to take that risk because it comes with a lot of mental stress. I'll be like, mbona saa niliingia hiyo trade na nilikuwa najua. So what I was thinking that gold is going to do when I saw this bearish engulfing, I thought like, okay, number one, gold has not reached this level of sellers, which means that this is just a high. It is a high and it is not a high formed because gold has been stored by a level of sellers. If you look left, there's no significant level of sellers that could stop gold. So this was a clean indication. Sasa kama gold ingekuwa imereach hii level and then I saw that bearish engulfing, now what I'll be looking for is bearish structure to the downside. But none of that has happened. Do you understand, guys? None of that has happened. So I was anticipating for a low to be formed within this level of sellers. I was anticipating that sellers were powerful enough to push price back to where they were so that they could buy back, they will buy back together the buyers. But it seems as if they're being overwhelmed by buyers. So we don't have an edge over this market. These trades, you want to leave them alone. Don't want to mess up your mind. Don't want to mess up your mental peace. Uh-huh. So Nasdaq, Nas, so Nas gave us a level of sellers, but it's clear that Nas is behaving just like gold. I was I'm still anticipating for Nas to give us a sell to this level. And if you look closely, you realize that after this glitch happened, price gave us a high, isn't it? Isn't it? Price has given us a high. Now we have a powerful correction. So you'll execute, you can you if I was a beginner trader, I would have executed this trade. And maybe it would have given me some money. But being the experienced man I am, I just can't because it's very risky to buy when market is moving without any structure with it. You don't know where the market is going to pull back. So you just need to fucking wait. This is why I have an alert at that area still. And I still haven't logged out of the fact that a high was made and no correction was given. So guys, I'm still locked into the fact that maybe Nasdaq might sell. But if you look at Nasdaq clearly, you'll see that it's in a very powerful bullish trend, and you just can't afford to miss the trades. But you have to execute trades that are in line with your strategy so that you won't have psychological problems when you fucking lose. Same to US 500. I was waiting for a correction to this level, it didn't happen. Back to now, you can clearly see what Bitcoin is doing. So at this point, I just want to open my phone. You want to open your phone, start doing the math and see how much I'll risk. Yesterday I lost how much? 2k. Lost 2k USD. Now why is Bitcoin behaving weirdly oh well, you wait for the next 10 minutes. If it closes like bullish pin bar, but we are going to maintain the stop loss. So let me see. Yeah, I'm going to put the stop loss down here at 80. Buy stop loss. Yeah, guys, I'm doing it on my phone. So sianze kujiuliza. This guy is mentioning some things, and I'm not executing trades. I'm trying to see how the trade itself. I'm trying to see how much I should risk. 84, 244.98. Let us see. 84. And stop loss 80. I need a guy 0.09. Okay, so let's see. Stop loss. If I put 5 lots, I'll be over risking. If I put 1 lot, how much do I want to risk? Let me risk 500. I put 0.5. Yeah, I'm going to put 0.5 lots this trade, risking 543, gaining 1225.96. So that's what I'm waiting to see. If I do pass that, I'll be blowing the account. But I have 300. Okay, I have 3,000. Let's see. Should risk. This is a worthy risk. 0.965, 4, 3, 2. Yeah, I'm going to execute 0.92 lots on this trade. Risking 1,000 to make 2,300. The good one is to 2.3. 0.92 lots. Yeah, we'll just wait and see how price is going to behave. Place an alert at this level. Now we can continue watching documentary on Oppenheimer.
One committee, which would report directly to the White House. The explicit goal was to develop an atomic bomb. And in May 1942, Oppenheimer was hired onto the committee to be the coordinator of rapid rupture. So, why was he selected? Well, after completing his PhD, Oppenheimer became a physics professor, first at UC Berkeley and then at Caltech. The brilliance he had shown under Max Born's tutelage didn't fade. Indeed, it blossomed into a remarkable but strange physics career. In the 15 years after finishing his PhD, Oppenheimer made important contributions to everything from nuclear physics to quantum field theory and even astrophysics. He had a number of Nobel Prize-winning ideas. One of his students, Willis Lamb, became a Nobel laureate. But Oppenheimer himself was nominated 3 times, but never actually won the Nobel Prize. When asked why he thought that Oppenheimer never won the Nobel Prize, Murray Gell-Mann said that he didn't have Sitzfleisch, a German word that translates to sitting flesh, the ability to sit down in a chair for a long time and do the hard work. He never wrote a long paper or did a long calculation. He didn't have the patience for that. Wolfgang Pauli also said, his ideas are very good, but his calculations are always wrong. But Oppenheimer was amazing with people. He was a natural and charismatic leader. And this combination, his charisma and his ability to generate great ideas, would serve him well in the next phase of his life. On the 18th of September 1942, General Leslie Groves was put in charge of the Manhattan Project.
I was responsible for the development of the atomic bomb.
On day 1, he ordered 1,200 tons of uranium ore. The next day, he ordered to buy the Oak Ridge site, where the ore would be refined. The next month, in a surprising move, he chose Oppenheimer to be the science director of the soon-to-be-established Los Alamos Laboratory. Oppenheimer had just been selected to be the chief architect of the atomic bomb. The military establishment had concerns. Oppenheimer did not have a Nobel Prize, so would the scientists hired for the project respect his opinion and follow his leadership? Oppenheimer also had no prior administrative experience over a large project like this. Furthermore, he was a theoretical physicist who, according to Isidore Rabi, was a very impractical fellow. He didn't know anything about equipment. And then there was the problem of Oppenheimer's political stance. He had links to the Communist Party, including his wife Catherine, who was a member of that party. But Groves was impressed by Oppenheimer. He valued his overwhelming ambition. He also knew that Oppenheimer's ability to understand problems not just in physics, but chemistry, engineering, and metallurgy would be invaluable. Groves thought that Oppenheimer was a real genius, saying that, why, Oppenheimer knows about everything. He can talk to you about anything you bring up. Well, not exactly, he doesn't know anything about sports. The two men couldn't have been more different. Oppenheimer weighed half as much as Groves, despite both of them being nearly 6 feet tall. Ideologically, Oppenheimer was a communist, Groves a staunch conservative. But Groves was convinced that Oppenheimer would be the person that would build the atomic bomb before the Nazis, and that was all that mattered. Isidore Rabi later commented that hiring Oppenheimer for this role was a real stroke of genius on the part of General Groves, who was not generally considered to be a genius.
This is your brain when you're struggling to focus. And this is your brain when you're in the zone.
The Manhattan Project needed a location, somewhere isolated to keep the project secret, safe from enemy attack, and while no one wanted to admit it, somewhere that was sparsely populated just in case there was an accident. Oppenheimer proposed Los Alamos, New Mexico. He had fallen in love with the harsh desert and the mountains of New Mexico when he was in his 20s. In 1929, Oppenheimer wrote to a friend, "My 2 great loves are physics and New Mexico. It's a pity they can't be combined." But Oppenheimer had severely underestimated the logistical challenge ahead. In 1943, Oppenheimer estimated that he'd need about 6 scientists, supported by a handful of engineers and technicians, to make a bomb. He was off.
That's pretty weird. Hakuna mtu ameweka alert hapo, alert haijakuzwa. Imetokea wapi bana? Hadi kwa logs haiko. Ndio hiyo. Told you guys.
Off by 2 orders of magnitude. 764 scientists would end up working for the Manhattan Project, 302 of which would work at the Los Alamos site. Over 600,000 people in total were involved with the making of the atomic bomb. By this point, making the atom bomb didn't seem impossible, it seemed likely. On the 2nd of December 1942, a team of physicists at the University of Chicago, led by Enrico Fermi, created the world's first artificial nuclear reactor, Pile 1. It consisted of 45 tons of uranium and uranium oxide and 330 tons of graphite blocks. Horrifyingly enough, it was located under the stands of the football field. It generated about half a watt of power. And if you can make a nuclear power plant, you can make a bomb. The only real difference between the two is how many neutrons hit the next atom, causing it to split and release more neutrons. If, on average, that number is 1, there will be a stable, self-sustaining chain reaction, but it won't grow. If it's less than 1, the reaction will die down. And if it's more than 1, the reaction will grow. This is known as the multiplication factor, K. Nuclear reactions are similar to pandemics in this way. The simplest way to make a nuclear bomb is to get enough fissile material close together that it creates a runaway chain reaction. That amount is known as the critical mass. With uranium-235, you need about 52 kilograms, forming a sphere with a diameter of 17 centimeters. If you use plutonium-235, with uranium-235, you need about 52 kilograms, forming a sphere with a diameter of 17
That is a very large amount.
17 centimeters. If you use plutonium-239, the critical mass is much smaller, only around 10 kilograms, which would create a sphere only 10 centimeters wide. For the first few years, the scientists worked on a bomb with a gun-type design. Inside a gun-type bomb, you have 2 slabs of uranium-235, both of which are below the critical mass. Then, using a conventional explosive like cordite, you rapidly fire one towards the other, so the combined mass is higher than the critical mass. When the uranium bullet is about 25 centimeters away, the nuclear chain reaction begins, resulting in an atomic explosion. Despite the simple design, it is not very efficient. Only a small percentage of the uranium undergoes fission, so the total yield of the bomb is much smaller. You also run into some unexpected problems, like how do you make sure the uranium slides smoothly through the barrel? Well, you use oil to lubricate the barrel. But all the synthetic oils the scientists tried would dry up. In the end, the only oil they could find that would work was the oil from sperm whales.
Staying on top of the core concepts of sustainable investing can add value to your clients.
Guys, by the way, do you know before oil was before they started manufacturing oil, people used to get their oil from whales.
Only about 0.7% of naturally occurring uranium is U-235, the fissile fuel for nuclear bombs. When U-235 absorbs a neutron, it briefly becomes U-236, and then it rips itself roughly in half and releases on average 2.4 neutrons per fission. But when you get uranium out of the ground, most of it is U-238, which doesn't undergo fission. So to make a nuclear bomb, the scientists used gigantic mass spectrometers to separate out and concentrate the U-235. And the resulting substance was uranium with a much higher concentration of U-235. In other words, it was enriched. There was another option, though. In early 1941, a new element was discovered, or rather, synthesized. When a neutron is absorbed by a nucleus of uranium-238, it turns into uranium-239. U-239 is unstable, so it decays into neptunium, which then becomes plutonium. There are three things that matter for this story. First is that plutonium-239 is a great fuel for a nuclear bomb. It has a critical mass of only about 10 kilograms. Second, it is cheaper to make than to separate uranium-235. And third, it reacts too quickly to be used in a gun-type device. It would fizzle, meaning only a tiny fraction of the fuel would undergo fission. But there is a way to make a bomb using plutonium. Critical mass changes depending on the density of the material. Under normal pressure conditions, 6 kilograms of plutonium-239 won't explode. But if you compress it, the atoms get closer together, and the chance of a stray neutron hitting the nucleus increases. So the higher the density, the lower the critical mass. So if you set off conventional explosives around a ball of plutonium, you can get it compressed enough to start a nuclear chain reaction. And this was the whole idea behind the implosion bomb design. There are a couple ways to cheat, lowering the critical mass. For one thing, you surround the sphere with a material that reflects neutrons, decreasing the amount of nuclear fuel you need to start a chain reaction. You can also have a neutron source, something that kickstarts the chain reaction. For the first implosion bomb, scientists created a device called the Urchin, which was a tiny pellet weighing just 7 grams, and it would sit at the heart of the bomb. It was made of beryllium and polonium, separated by a layer of nickel and gold. The idea was that when the explosives detonated, the shock wave would mix the beryllium and polonium together, and then the alpha particles from polonium would cause the beryllium to release a flood of neutrons, which would set off the nuclear chain reaction. At least, that was the hope. An atomic bomb had never been made before. Oppenheimer and the rest of the scientists at Los Alamos needed to act quickly. It was already 1945, and Truman wanted to test the weapon before the start of the Potsdam Conference. That's where Truman, Churchill, and Stalin would come together to plan the post-war peace. The conference began on the 17th of July. The earliest date that everything could be ready for the bomb was just 1 day earlier. So that is when the test was scheduled. It was codenamed Trinity. The night before, Oppenheimer was nervous. There were so many things that could go wrong. The last test firing of the explosives, without the actual plutonium core, was a failure. To calm himself, he recited a stanza from the Bhagavad Gita, the sacred Hindu poem. He had actually translated the Gita from the original Sanskrit himself. In battle, in forest, at the precipice in the mountains, on the dark great sea, in the midst of javelins and arrows, in sleep, in confusion, in the depths of shame. The good deeds a man has done before defend him. Perhaps more terrifying than the idea of the bomb not working was that it would work too well. Around 1942, Oppenheimer discussed with Arthur Compton
So unaona venyewe imeclose. Yeah, so if this candlestick yenye na form so close above this level imetupea new low. But still I have a feeling that I should maintain the 8705.09 stop loss level. XAU USD bana, sell. Gold, sell. NAS, ayo huwezi sell. Venye hii imebehave, hai, tuikuona kasero man. But it is okay, no problem. We'll just wait, God is with us. Am I going to get sacrificed? Never. Wait and see.
A terrible possibility that a nuclear test could end the world. The worry was that the nuclear bomb would create temperatures so hot that fusion would occur. A tiny fraction of the atmosphere, just 1 part in 2 million, is hydrogen gas. But the worry was that at high enough temperatures and pressures, that hydrogen could fuse together, releasing energy. This energy would fuse more hydrogen. It could also break apart the hydrogen from water vapor, causing that to fuse as well. That would release even more energy, causing yet more fusion, until the entirety of the Earth's atmosphere would become a giant fusion bomb. Recalling his conversations with Oppenheimer, in 1959, Compton said, "Nor was this all that Oppenheimer feared. The nitrogen in the air is also unstable, though in less degree. Might not it, too, be set off by an atomic explosion in the atmosphere?" Most of the scientists quickly realized how unlikely this scenario was, and they continued on with the project. So no one took the idea too seriously. But the thought of starting a fusion reaction with a fission weapon would become very important after the war. The Trinity test was scheduled for 4 a.m., but it was delayed due to a storm. So at 5:29 and 21 seconds, the Gadget, the world's first nuclear bomb, detonated. The high explosive squeezed the core of plutonium inwards. The shockwave mixed the beryllium and polonium, releasing a flood of neutrons. The Urchin worked. It jump-started the nuclear reaction, and now there was no way to stop it. Just 6 kilograms of plutonium created an explosion that was equivalent to nearly 25,000 tons of TNT. The New Mexico mountains were illuminated brighter than in daytime. The shockwave was felt from over 160 kilometers away. The mushroom cloud rose to 12 kilometers into the sky. It was so hot that the desert sand melted into a glassy mineral now known as trinitite. Fortunately, the blast did not set fire to the atmosphere. On August 6, 1945, the Boeing B-29 Flying Fortress dropped Little Boy, a gun-type nuclear bomb with 64 kilograms of enriched uranium. The nitrocellulose ignited, pushing the slugs of uranium-235 together, tipping it over its critical mass. The blast from the explosion, equivalent to 15,000 tons of TNT, killed nearly 70,000 people. Another 70,000 would die from burns and radiation poisoning in the following months. 3 days later, an implosion-type bomb, like the Gadget, was dropped on Nagasaki, killing an estimated 80,000 more people. More than 95% of the 225,000 people killed in the bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki were civilians. Most were women and children. In 1965, recalling the moments after the Trinity test, Oppenheimer said that he thought of another verse from the Gita.
He knew the world would not be the same. Few people laughed. Few people cried. Most people were silent. I remembered the line from the Hindu scripture, the Bhagavad Gita. Vishnu is trying to persuade the prince that he should do his duty and to impress him takes on his multi-armed form and says, "Now I am become death, the destroyer of worlds." I suppose we all thought that one way or another.
After the war, Oppenheimer was a national hero. His portrait was on the cover of Time magazine, and he became a household name. In 1947, he became the director of the Institute of Advanced Study at Princeton. He also became the chairman of the General Advisory Committee, where he became an advisor on nuclear weapons-related issues. He used his position to argue for arms control. In August 1949, the Soviet Union tested their first atomic weapon. And the US military quickly decided that the best course of action was to develop a more powerful bomb, the hydrogen bomb, known as the Super. Oppenheimer was against the development of the Super on ethical grounds, and the worry that it would start an arms race. But Truman's administration pushed through, and 3 years later, Ivy Mike, the first hydrogen bomb, was tested in the Marshall Islands. It had a yield of 10.4 megatons of TNT. That's 400 times more powerful than the Trinity test. A hydrogen bomb is actually 3 bombs in one: a conventional bomb, a fission bomb, and a fusion bomb. The conventional explosives trigger a fission reaction, which increases the temperature and pressure enough to fuse deuterium and tritium together, releasing a huge amount of energy. In 1961, the Soviet Union tested the Tsar Bomba, the most powerful explosion ever detonated. It was another 5 times more powerful than Ivy Mike, around 2,000 times more powerful than Trinity. This kind of arms race was exactly what Oppenheimer had feared. In part due to his opposition to the hydrogen bomb and due to his calls to avert a nuclear arms race, Oppenheimer was essentially put on trial to revoke his security clearance. He had been surveilled while he was working for the Manhattan Project, but that surveillance didn't stop after he left. Many of the wiretaps were illegal and warrantless. Oppenheimer was questioned about his ties to the Communist Party, including his affair with Jean Tatlock, a Communist Party member, while he was leading the Los Alamos lab. He was essentially accused of treason and espionage. In December 1953, Oppenheimer had his security clearance suspended. His face, now grim and in black and white, was once again on the cover of Time. His security hearings were international news. In 1964, German playwright Heinar Kippert wrote a play about Oppenheimer's life. Oppenheimer was sent a copy of this script, and he hated it so much that he threatened to sue. He especially despised the final scene where the character of Oppenheimer realizes the evil of his work. And I quote, "We have been doing the work of the devil." To Oppenheimer, it was always more complicated than that.
I think that it probably was assumed. It certainly was always assumed at Los Alamos that if the war were not over and not clearly to be brought to a conclusion by diplomatic means, this weapon would play a part. At the time, the alternative, the campaign of invasion, was certainly much more terrible for everyone concerned. I think that Hiroshima was far more costly in life and suffering and inhumane than it needed to have been an effective argument for ending the war. This is easy to say after the fact.
In 1965, he was asked about the recent proposal of talks with the Soviet Union to halt the proliferation of nuclear weapons, and his response was, it should have been done the day after Trinity. Later that same year, he was diagnosed with throat cancer. He was a lifelong smoker, and he died on the 18th of February, 1967, aged 62. Advances in
So the last time I watched a movie on live, I was blocked. So let me see what we're going to do. Going to search movie box. Ding 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 ding. What I need to do, I just hope that they won't notice. Yeah. What? Pass. This one, I've seen this movie. It looks interesting. No, that's the problem with no 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 no. I'm not getting myself blocked. Okay, then I'm just going to write it. What women want 2000. Mel Gibson. Yeah, this one. Ding 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 ding.
science and technology have given humans tremendous power to make the world better or worse. And nuclear war isn't the only thing we have to worry about. Human caused climate change poses a serious threat to ecosystems and the most vulnerable people around the world. As I record this, we are in the midst of a heat wave, and my folks up in Canada are suffering in the smoke from wildfires. This is where this video sponsor, Ren, comes in. Their mission
Don't try to tell me about climate change. You scam. This made up thing, climate change. Why? But I don't know anything about climate change. I'm just joking around because I've not looked into it, so I don't know. Tarekenyo neno man. Hold on. E Mungu wangu mfalme. Kwani this guy died his here. I hate this guy. I don't know why he hates Trumps. Like, you hate Trump to an extent that you look like, what the fuck is happening? Any Masai, see, but let me watch Bitcoin and see how it's going to behave. Bruv, look at this nigga? Nigga Trump is messing up the fucking market, bruv. Nigga Trump, bruv. Just chill, bruv. Why do you want to bomb Iranians, bruv? Can we just have a calm market? Stop bombing the fucking Iranians, bruv. Look at this guy. He just wakes up and starts threatening people. This guy is something wrong with him. Is he literally in dementia or something of the sort? South Koreans talk. That's great, bruv. President Trump's, if Iran doesn't agree to deal, the bombing starts. The fuck, bruv. But I guess I understand what that will do. Did you guys see how oil behaved? I showed you guys. Let me show you. Let me remind you because your little brain can't remember. Oil. I was doing an analysis. Look at oil. This drop. This drop is so majestic. So the market needs some fuel to correct to this level. I just can't remove this from the watch list. This is going to be a super trade. If I execute sales at this area, put TP around there. This is going to be a super trade, bruv. So just fucking wait. Let's see. Just can't get that out of the watch list. How the heavens is US 500 pushing bullish when Trump has threatened to bomb the shit out of Iranians? That news in and of itself should make people panic and get their money out from the stock market. Then that puts the market in a very precarious situation, because now this will force gold. If by any chance that news is true, this will force gold to go bearish. See, I know that there's some SMC traders who are like, order block around here. Look, fair value gap. There's a fair value gap here. There's a fair value gap. Bullish engulfing. Buy. Put stop loss beneath the order block. Where is the order block? Then let us target the next order block. There. And that nigga made fucking money. But I'm not an order blocker. I when I started trading, I was all over the place. I studied order block. The only thing that I said that I will study when I get a laptop is ICT. And instead I studied ICC from Trades by fucking Sai, bruv. Let me respond to a message here. Let's see what the fuck is happening here.
Isa yake.
Pia akasema hii story ilianza akiomba justice.
Kenyans please. Naomba mnisaidie kupata James. Nipate justice.
Pastor Kanyari akamwaniaje, wacha nimchukue akwe kondo wangu.
Staki aibishwe na wanaume tena kutolewa nguo. I don't want that stupidity. I want that girl to enjoy life.
Yeah, because Pastor Kanyari are fucking simp, and it's like you want to have sex with the guy. So
leo nimempatia pesa ya biashara na nimempromise kumununulia gari.
Kumbe Pastor Kanyari alimfanyia more than justice.
Ati amechukua huyo msichana Marion Naipei akampeleka kwa kanisa yake, ati akamuombea and then akarudi akampatia 50,000 na sasa ati anataka kumfanya akue pastor kwa hiyo kanisa yake.
Pia akasema hivi, Pastor Kanyari alinifanyia hivi na hivi.
Mimi ni testimony. Nilitolewa nguo venye nasema, mimi nilitolewa nguo. Na mkaniandika pale kwa mtandao. Haikuwa mbaya. Ilikuwa nini? Ilikuwa mbaya. Lakini saa hii nipate pale kanisani Sunday.
Ala, kwani kunaendaje after all this process? Sasa na kuna vitu zinafanyika tena behind the scene.
Kwa mchaina ni wapi? Another one.
Mimi napenda Moro kabisa. Malcolm please. Malcolm.
Another one. What the fuck?
But wejua, things are getting out of hand.
niliona hii niko like kwani akona ukedi.
So fanya hivi, kana mimi nipeleke into details venye story naenda. Na wahenga au kosea aliposema don't save her, she doesn't want to be saved. Lakini ukiamua unataka kumsave, none of my business. Don't hate the reporter, hate the report. I'm Kunta from Kunta Reports.
Get ready.
Marion Naipei Kama unaishi chini ya mawe, or let's say you live under a rock, maybe hujasikia hii jina, but kama hujasikia hii jina, let me just give you a small backstory of where this name came from. So Marion Naipei is one girl mwenye mazejo alitrendingi because alikuwa recorded akiwa ajavaa chupi. So alirekodiwa na jamaa fulani anaitwa James.
Trust me, guys. When this scandal was going on, I was so fucking locked into what I was doing. I can't even tell you the details of what happened. I don't even know. I didn't even see the videos of the girl. I only came online and I came to a realization that I think this guy was from the UK. This nigga here was from the UK, and then I don't know, this girl was going to meet her on the club, and I don't even understand why he was pushing a. I don't know, but it's as if the girl was forcing the man to do something awkward, and the guy was pulling him back, telling her that her husband is near, something of the sort. And then I don't know how the fuck clothes were recorded. The girl was recorded naked, bro. I can't understand that concept. I've never wrapped my mind around that this whole situation had URL.
But kama unataka more details about that story, you can just go and watch this video nilichambuanga. So nitaweka hiyo link kwenye description and go and watch. So nikupea a small backstory of what happened. So after all this happened, Marion Naipei alikujanga kwenye mtandao na katafutwa na jamaa fulani anaitwa Mosiria.
Kenyans please, naomba mnisaidie kupata James. Naomba mnisaidie kupata James, nipate justice. Pity be bad. I cannot walk.
Huyu msee anakuanga na huruma sana. Huyu msee, kama unachukia Mosiria, unafaa ukuwe serious. Pun intended, because this guy is so good. Okay, he anaweza kuwa na his shortcomings, but this is a very good man here. Yeah, this is the time where he had the first public backlash. Ever since this guy appeared on the internet, this woman was the reason for the genesis of online backlash against this guy, because everybody knows how good this man is. Very good guy. Even Pastor Kanyari is a good guy. But what I hate about the aspect that I hate about this Kanyari guy is the fact that he is willing to go down to the knees of a woman and give this woman all the things in the name of preaching so that he can get sex. Like, who the fuck does that? Kanyari is an extremely successful man with an extremely beautiful daughter. He's so successful regardless of how he gained his wealth. How the fuck do you worship and bow down to a woman and give her 50,000 public appearances in a big church, all these things only to get her approval and sex? That's fucking weak. That is fucking weak. But Kanyari is a good guy, though he's a fucking simp.
No access to the internet?
No, for now he doesn't. Nilibidi nimemtoa shule kwanza because the embarrassment was so much. I had to leave to the coast.
Kujificha.
Yes. Na nduniende my friend alikuja kunitoa kwa nyumba when he tried to commit suicide.
So from that short video yenye umesikia hapo, kitu kwanza unafaa una take note is that apparently Marion Naipei akona mtoi, but hiyo sio story imekuleta hapa. That's none of our business. So kuna kitu ingine pia ilikuja ikajulikana that Marion Naipei, during this period of her interacting with this man called James Opande, Mazejo, she was a seller. Alikuwa a cat seller. Kama uko na akili umepata what I'm trying to say. So she was a online cat seller. So kuna vitu zili trend huko Mazejo ikapatikana. Yes, she was a seller.
Do you know what Kanyari is trying to dramatize here? He's trying to dramatize Mary Magdalene wiping the foot of Christ. Like literally. Who are the congregants of this guy, to be sincere? It's either they are under spell or they don't. I don't know how to explain this situation of this guy's church.
So from the video I've just seen, that is Marion Naipei ana anoint miguu sijui ama anapapasa miguu. Ukicheki ana anoint the members wa Pastor Kanyari, hiyo church ya Pastor Kanyari. Ni kama tena hapo manze.
Guys, let me see some few minutes of this. This looks great, and then we'll come back to the Pastor Kanyari thing. I just want to...
I'm very excited to introduce you to Sam Bankman-Fried.
Everybody likes a story about an underdog.
He's the CEO of the cryptocurrency exchange FTX.
The wealthiest person under 30 in the world.
Someone out of the ordinary.
What makes him so different and so rich? You said you always wanted to get rich, but not for the reasons you might expect.
An unlikely genius who comes once in a lifetime.
Living with roommates, sleeping on a beanbag in his office.
The guy's a nut. He doesn't sleep.
Sam is a genius.
The Michael Jordan of crypto, if you will.
Somebody who wants to change the world for good.
He decided that he wanted to dedicate his life to doing good for the world.
This is not one of those stories.
In the span of about 1 week, Sam Bankman-Fried went from a
crypto billionaire to bankruptcy.
The Southern District of New York has confirmed the arrest of FTX founder Sam Bankman-Fried,
the once crowned king of crypto, now adorned in handcuffs.
In the month of November 2022, one of the biggest tales of financial fraud was unraveling.
This is worse than Theranos. This is worse than Madoff.
And it all centered around one man and a web of lies spun over the course of a few years.
The devil in nerd's clothing.
A stunning fall from someone who was once considered crypto's golden boy.
Many out there who believe he's just a pathological liar.
I remember watching it unfold and wondering, how?
Everyone seemed to believe it, from Wall Street to celebrities.
Here's my boy Sam from FTX.
And even Washington, D.C.
His FTX team were among the top political donors.
The multi-billion-dollar class action lawsuit accuses FTX, its former CEO, and around a dozen celebrities of causing some $11 billion in U.S. investor losses.
Over the last few months, I wanted to find the pieces of the puzzle, a puzzle that had managed to fool so many. But what I found was a story that left people broken.
It felt like everything I worked up to this point in my life has been swept away.
And my biggest fear, that this is not over. Some people think this story begins and ends with Sam Bankman-Fried, but that's wrong. It is doomed to repeat itself. First, for the last 3 years, I've been using Notion on a daily basis, who are also the sponsors for today's video. Notion essentially gives you a place to store your notes, your to-do lists, your goals, and just about anything that's inside of your head all in one place. So here is an example of a Notion page. These pages are essentially like a blank canvas where you can store whatever information you like, whether that is just text, tables, or entire databases with various properties. This Notion page that you're looking at right now is basically where I've organized everything for the video that you are watching right now. On the right hand side here, you can see that I've created a menu section that contains even more pages within it. This is an example of a database that I've used to manage the motion graphics for the video. So you can see that it allows me to keep track of everything from what needs to be done, to delegate tasks out to motion graphic designers, and so on and so forth. Here are some of the notes that we've taken for meetings in the production of this video. And now with Notion AI, you can literally summarize all of these into a few key action points for ease of use if I need to come back to this. So here is an example of a creative brief that I've created for this video. And then with just the click of a button, I can share this page with other Notion users to collaborate with me on it, or I can just create a link to the page so that anyone can access it even if they don't have Notion. I can even use Notion AI to help kickstart creative idea sessions, so for example generating title ideas for this video. And because you can get Notion on your phone, you basically have all of this all in one place wherever you go. It's insanely helpful. You can get started with Notion for free today, and Notion AI is only $10 a month using the link in the description below. These videos take a lot of time and a lot of money to create, but it's thanks to you guys and sponsors like Notion and literally Notion as a software that I'm able to continue creating them. People want to make money, and they want to make it fast. It can be out of greed, it can be out of desperation, but if you tell someone that there is a box that they can put their money into, and that box will return back tenfold what you gave it, how could you not be tempted? From the years of 2020 to 2021, the world of cryptocurrencies had become that box for regular people.
What is Bitcoin? What is up with Bitcoin? People are getting rich from it. Everyone's chasing it.
Bitcoin is going up forever, Deirdre. Forever.
The mentality was simple. You think of crypto, you think of getting rich.
He became a millionaire at 24, all by investing in Bitcoin.
I made millions with crypto. You probably made millions as well.
We all knew someone that never talked about investing before and suddenly saying how they're putting their money into crypto, that it's the future.
From a struggling music producer
from bankrupt
to a millionaire.
To millionaire.
This is basically winning the lottery.
Become the next crypto millionaire.
Even celebrities were getting into it.
You have jumped into the world of cryptocurrency.
So I'm going to tweet out the information on how you can buy this NFT.
Look at this.
They look like they could be friends.
They're buddies.
The question really became, how do I get my piece of the pie? To understand the story that's about to unfold, I feel like the Super Bowl of 2022 is the best place to start. Not because of the sports, but because of the ad breaks. An advert appears featuring Larry David, an actor who hasn't been in a commercial ever. The ad takes you through various inventions in history: the wheel, toilets, coffee, voting, light bulbs. At each stage of a new invention, it shows how many critics dismissed and laughed at them, only to be proven wrong.
Can I be honest with you? It stinks.
However, the real twist of this ad came at the end.
Like I was saying, it's FTX. It's a safe and easy way to get into crypto.
And Larry responds,
I don't think so.
And there it is. Big bold letters. Don't miss out on crypto, NFTs, the next best thing, and right next to it, the logo. If you wanted to buy crypto, most regular people would have to do it through a cryptocurrency exchange. Think of it like a central location that you deposit your money into, and from there you can place orders to buy and sell cryptocurrencies. The exchange's job is to match you with those buyers and sellers. And once you've made your riches, you withdraw your money from the exchange into your bank account. They are the easiest gateways into the world of crypto, accessible from the very phones in your pocket. Within the top 3 cryptocurrency exchanges at the time, you had Binance at number 1, owned by a guy called Changpeng Zhao, nickname CZ. In second, you had Coinbase, owned by a man named Brian Armstrong. And then finally, FTX.
I'm excited to be partnering with FTX.
If you're wondering, well, what is FTX?
FTX is like the best exchange.
They're a safe exchange where people can trade things like cryptocurrencies.
The first crypto company to win naming rights to a major U.S. arena.
FTX is a platform where they offer 85% lower fees than their top competitors.
They have the most coins. They have giveaways where they give free coins.
FTX is the best crypto exchange in the world with no fixed fees. But this week, I actually want to tell you about Sam.
He's the young super billionaire and founder of the FTX exchange.
And so we arrive at Sam Bankman-Fried, nickname SBF.
All right, Sam, tell us about yourself.
Yeah, my name is Sam Bankman-Fried. I'm the CEO and co-founder of FTX.
Did you ever imagine?
I just can't believe this guy is in jail. I don't think he's in jail. I think he was freed from jail. But the last time I checked, he's in jail.
Imagine that at 25, when you got involved, you would now be one of the most important people in the crypto world and have become a multi-billionaire?
No, well,
No, although...
Not only one of the nicest people in crypto, but one of the smartest as well. SBF, thanks for taking the time out of your day down in the Bahamas to join us. How you doing over there?
At only 30 years old, this guy had an estimated net worth of $26 billion. I mean, Forbes had already done an article on him. Save for Mark Zuckerberg, no one in history has ever gotten so rich so young.
Sam is a genius, an effective altruist, and he's also the wealthiest person under 30 in the world.
His hair was disheveled. His clothes usually consisted of loose-fitting t-shirts and a pair of shorts. You'd see pictures of him sleeping on beanbags in his office.
You trust the guy more when you see the car he drives. He's worth like $20 billion or something.
I mean, first of all, his appearance. He's only 29 years old, and he typically wears a t-shirt or a sweatshirt that has the FTX logo on it, khaki shorts.
Very often when people get wealthy, they buy fancy suits and so forth. You haven't gone to that phase yet, right?
Not so much.
He sounds a little bit like most tech bros I went to college with, not showering a ton, a really messy desk.
He was very much the tech nerd genius stereotype. When you searched him up online, you would see pictures with him and celebrities like Tom Brady, with politicians like Bill Clinton and Tony Blair. Then you find out that FTX was founded in 2019. In other words, nobody knew who this guy was a few years ago.
I spoke with Sam earlier this month where he alluded to his plans to give most of his fortune away.
Sam's biggest advantage was this image he had built himself, an image of a billionaire dedicated to giving his wealth away. What's not to love about that?
The guy you see next to me is the most generous billionaire in the world.
Do you have a sense of how much of your fortune you'd be willing to give away in the end?
In the end, I think almost all of it, right? Like, I'm not particularly excited to dive into luxury. I'm not excited about yachts.
A crypto billionaire plans to give away 99% of his money.
What about your own legacy, Sam? What impact would you want to leave on the world?
In the end, my goal is to do as much good as I can for the world. So I can prove, to the world that this isn't bullshit, that I really do mean it.
Around May of 2022, a guy called Mark Cohodes starts publicly broadcasting his views about FTX and Sam Bankman-Fried on Twitter. In the world of finance, Cohodes is what you would call a short seller, somebody that bets against the success of a company's stock, and if they're right, they make money. Only a few months after his initial tweets, he had sent an email to Bloomberg asking them to investigate Sam Bankman-Fried and FTX. Cohodes was skeptical, and one of his biggest questions was related to Sam and his background. Just who was this guy really, and how did he achieve his status in such a short period of time? It was a fair question. To save the world, don't get a job at a charity, go work on Wall Street. That was the title of a post on a forum in 2013, 9 years before the Super Bowl of 2022. It was written by a guy called William MacAskill.
He is the Associate Professor of Philosophy at the University of Oxford, co-founder of the Effective Altruism Movement.
For the last 10 years, my colleagues and I have developed a philosophy and research program that we call Effective Altruism.
He has pledged to donate everything you earn to organizations he believes will do the most good.
Effective altruism is a philosophy and a community that's about trying to figure out how can we do as much good as possible with the time and money we have.
What it boiled down to, in its simplest form, was figuring out how to make the world a better place using the most evidence-based approach. One strategy was known as earning to give, which meant maximizing your own wealth so that you could give away more to charitable causes, or, as others might put it, get filthy rich for charity's sake. He described a student who had been convinced by the philosophy and now works in finance at a trading firm called Jane Street, giving away 50% of his income to charitable causes. In the same year he made that forum post, MacAskill heard of another student at MIT that may be a good fit for the movement, a 24-year-old physics undergraduate who went by the name Sam Bankman-Fried. And just like that, Sam Bankman-Fried was introduced to effective altruism. He was a mathematics nerd with a passion for utilitarianism and a vegan who already engaged in animal rights activism. McCaskill persuaded Sam that instead of working for charity directly, he could make a greater impact by pursuing a high-paying career, then donate a substantial amount of his income to charitable causes. Sam was convinced, and just like the student mentioned in McCaskill's forum post, Sam decides to get a job at the same trading firm known as Jane Street. It was a popular firm amongst other effective altruists. Little did McCaskill realize just how much damage his new convert would cause the movement in the years to come. In the summer of 2021, Sam Bankman-Fried gets on a Zoom call with partners of Sequoia Capital, a venture capital firm. These were people who had invested in Apple, Google, Instagram, and I could go on. The point is, Sam was here to talk about FTX in the hopes of convincing Sequoia to invest money into the company. He tells them his vision for the exchange. I want FTX to be a place where you can do anything you want with your next dollar. You can buy Bitcoin, you can send money in whatever currency to any friend anywhere in the world. You can buy a banana. They were impressed. A few months after that Zoom call, they lead a round of investments for FTX which totaled almost $1 billion. And a year after that Zoom call, 2 months before the collapse, Sequoia Capital releases this 45-page article titled "Sam Bankman-Fried has a savior complex, and maybe you should too." In that article, they reveal that throughout the Zoom call, Sam had been playing one of his favorite video games, League of Legends. The article goes on to talk about Sam's commitment to the effective altruism movement, and when the author sits down with him for an interview, he becomes convinced that Sam is the real deal and may very well become the world's first trillionaire. They even go as far as saying that unlike other crypto companies, FTX has a unique selling point: their ethical behavior. There's this image of who Sam was that people were buying into. An effective altruist, a crypto genius, a nerd who played video games whilst casually pitching billion-dollar investors. Sequoia wasn't some exceptional case, they were just one of the many big institutional names investing into FTX. I mean, we're talking Temasek, SoftBank, BlackRock, Ontario Teachers Pension Fund. Who cares what the big boy institutions are doing, right? I mean, none of that means anything to the average person. Remember, 2021 was the year that everyone saw crypto as this fountain of wealth for those that put their money into it. To reach these people, FTX had to do one thing: get in front of the things that they cared about. The Miami Heat Arena, famous for hosting the Miami Heat NBA team, in March of 2021, it became the FTX Arena after signing a 19-year deal for $135 million with FTX.
Throughout this year, they've been spending big bucks to get mainstream name recognition.
TSM, the popular esports organization most known for their League of Legends team. Forget that. It's TSM FTX now, thanks to a 10-year deal with FTX for $210 million.
FTX is putting their name everywhere.
Tom Brady, one of the greatest quarterbacks in football history. Well, he's not only an ambassador for FTX now, he's also given equity in the company, and the same goes for the Brazilian fashion model and Brady's wife at the time, Gisele Bündchen. The entirety of Major League Baseball, thanks to a 5-year partnership, FTX were to become the official cryptocurrency exchange of the MLB. Every single umpire had the FTX logo embroidered on their uniform. Formula One teams, the International Cricket Council, a baseball superstar, the Golden State Warriors.
You guys may have seen their ads. They're everywhere now.
I'm not an expert, and I don't need to be.
And who could forget Kevin O'Leary? One of the sharks on the popular show Shark Tank had been rather critical of the cryptocurrency space.
It is a useless currency. It is a useless currency. To me, it's garbage.
But come the crypto boom of 2021, and Kevin signs a $15 million deal with FTX to become an official spokesperson for the exchange.
If there's ever a place I could be that I'm not going to get in trouble, it's going to be at FTX.
Even some of the most popular finance influencers who generally gave safe investment advice were taking on sponsorship deals with FTX.
FTX US has been a sponsor here on the channel for the majority of the year. I love FTX.
Among the cheapest fees out there.
Check out our sponsor, FTX US.
A lot of these influencers bought into Sam's image just as much as actual institutional investors did. The real question was, how much of that image was real or just a facade? After 3.5 years of working at Jane Street, Sam decides to quit. He had an appetite for risk, and by staying there he felt like he could be missing out on other opportunities. One of his colleagues at the time, a 22-year-old named Caroline Ellison, witnessed it herself. Just like Sam, she too was an effective altruist with a love for mathematics. She thought it was unusual. I mean, Sam was quitting his high-paying job just because there may be other opportunities out there. Of course, Caroline Ellison had no idea at the time just how much her own career and personal life would become entangled with Sam's. Without a job, Sam starts writing a list of directions for his life. Those things included becoming a journalist, venturing into politics, fundraising for a non-profit, and building a startup. He would go on to achieve almost all of those things. But before making a decision, William McCaskill offers him a job at the Center of Effective Altruism, a company for the EA movement to conduct various activities. And whilst there, he befriends another member of the movement, a woman by the name of Tara McCauley, who was head of operations. That's when Sam started noticing something.
Overall, biggest winner of the day, Bitcoin rallied more than 10% today. It's up 438% for 2017.
The cryptocurrency has pushed past $7,000.
It just crossed the $16,000 threshold.
It is, in the next 20 years, $1 million a coin.
At this point, Sam didn't have much of an interest in cryptocurrencies, but in 2017, the cryptocurrency world was entering a mania. Although it was on a smaller scale to the one that followed in 2021, it got on Sam's radar.
This is late 2017, when you walk down the streets, you hear two people talking, you're like, that's probably about Bitcoin. I mean, I don't know, but pretty likely.
More importantly, Sam Bankman-Fried had spotted something that others had not, and he needed to act fast. In that same year of 2017, Sam and his fellow colleague Tara McCauley start a new company together. They call it Alameda Research. See this? This is it, right here. Everything that was to come. It all begins with Alameda Research. When you look at the name alone, Alameda sounds like a research company. In fact, that was intentional misdirection.
If you named your company like, we do cryptocurrency, Bitcoin arbitrage, no one's going to give you a bank account if that's your company name. But everyone wants to serve a research institute.
Alameda's true purpose was to operate as a cryptocurrency trading firm. In other words, they would be using their own money to invest into crypto-related assets in order to make a profit. But like I mentioned, Sam had noticed something. To purchase Bitcoin, most people use exchanges, and the price of Bitcoin generally remained the same across all exchanges in the world, with one exception. At the time, some countries in Asia had been selling Bitcoin for, in some cases, $5,000 more than what it was on other exchanges. In other words, you're looking at $5,000 profit per trade sitting on the table. It was practically free money. Just one problem. There were far too many obstacles in the way. Capital controls, financial regulations, anti-money laundering laws, and so on and so forth. Most people couldn't work out how to make the trade. Sam, however, had a card up his sleeve: effective altruism. Thanks to a Japanese member of the EA community, Sam was able to skirt around some of these obstacles. Sam also secured funding from wealthy effective altruist members, specifically a loan for $50 million from Jan Tarlin, the co-founder of Skype. Alameda Research would first buy Bitcoin on a US exchange, then sell it at a higher price on a Japanese exchange with the help of their Japanese friend. Now, the accounts differ on how much this made Alameda Research, some putting the figure at $10 million, others at $30 million. Either way, it was a success. But there's just one problem with opportunities like this. They don't last forever. Once people start to catch on, the markets tend to adjust themselves and it no longer becomes profitable. By January of 2018, Alameda could no longer exploit the opportunity. And then, something happened in April. An event that would be kept secret for a long time. An event that would rock the foundations of Sam's first company. An event that would expose a side of his character that would foreshadow much of what was to come in. Sam Bankman-Fried always wanted to get into politics since leaving Jane Street many years ago. And in 2021, he had a strong reason to follow that calling.
Binance has kind of been in trouble in a lot of countries in terms of regulatory issues.
Binance, the world's largest cryptocurrency exchange, and how it just got banned in the United Kingdom.
Binance has been banned from Ontario, Canada.
Not authorized to operate.
The fuck is wrong with this candlestick?
In Japan.
Yake. Pia akasema hivi, Pastor Kanyari alinifanyia out of hand. But kama hujasikia, let me just give you a small backstory of where this name came from. So Marion Naipei is one girl mwenye mazejo
Naomba mnisaidie because the embarrassment was so much.
So from that short video yenye umesikia hapo, kitu kwanza unafaa una take note is that apparently Marion Naipei akona mtoi, but hiyo sio story imekuleta hapa. That's none of our business. So kuna kitu kingine pia ilikuja ikajulikana that Marion Naipei, during this period of her interacting with this man called James Opande, mazejo, she was a seller. Alikuwa a cat seller. Kama uko na akili umepata what I'm trying. Alikuwa a cat seller. Kama uko na akili umepata what I'm trying to say. So she was a online cat seller. So kuna vitu zili trend huko mazejo ikapatikana. Yes, she was a seller. So from the video you have just seen, that is Marion Naipei ana anoint miguu sijui ama anapapasa miguu. Ukicheki ana anoint the members wa Pastor Kanyari, hiyo church ya Pastor Kanyari. Ni kama tena hapo manzejo alikuwa manzejo tena wanamuita ati prophetess. Hivyo ndio jina amepewa kwenye hiyo church, okay? So let me play you another video.
Wanaisha Hamadi wafungaje hichi kitambaa chako? Hichi chako utaitwa nini?
So hiyo video sasa nimekuchezea. Nataka tu iweke tu.
This is the lesbian woman who is spending time with this fucking bitch.
So hiyo video sasa nimekuchezea. Nataka tu iweke tu back of your oblongata medulla, sijui mnaitangaje, yani hapa nyuma kwa kisogo iweke tu huko, lakini usisahau. You get me fam? Hiyo video kuna mali nitakuja kurefer na wewe utakuja kujua what is happening. You get me fam? So after all this, wejua Kanyari alikuwa ashachukua Marion Naipei akuwe kama kondoo wake. So after amechukua huyu manzi mazejo amempeleka kwenye chachi yake, mazejo maswali zilianza kuchipuka. Kwani kunaendaje? Yani kuna watu wenye uongo wanachezea Mungu, yani ile tu unachezea Mungu karata just because unataka publication na unataka attention. Sijui kama mumesikia vile Kanyari amefanyia msichana mwenye alikuwa anatembea uchi bila ngodha. Ati amechukua huyo msichana Marion Naipei akampeleka kwa kanisa yake, ati akamuombea and then akarudi akampatia 50,000 na sasa ati anataka kumfanya akue pastor kwa hiyo kanisa yake. Yani Kanyari anachezeanga Mungu kama Mungu ni ball. Believe it or not, huyo msichana saizi anapata more attention. Na watu wengi, unaona vile watu wengi walikasirikia Mosiria. Kwa sababu walikuwa wanasema huyo msichana, the first thing alikuwa anajua huyu jamaa mwenye alimuanika ako na bibi. And in fact ukisikia kwa hiyo conversation anasema wewe ndio ninataka, wewe ndio nataka kukupatia. In fact hata kuna mahali penye alikuwa anaguza mrije ya ule jamaa. So from what you have heard, ukicheki Pastor Kanyari apparently hiyo church yake ni kama tena anapenda tena kuita watu wametrend. So wacha nikuelezee kinagaubaga ndio usipotee. Benyo jamaa amesema ajui kama ni attention huyu jamaa anatafuta ama ni clout huyu jamaa anatafuta. Acha nikwambie kitu anatafuta. So kama ujui, Pastor Kanyari apparently sijui kama anaingia politics ama ashaisimama before, but sahi ni kama anataka kiti fulani huko hizo sehemu za Kasarani. So kitu huyu jamaa anapenda kufanya ama yenye amekuwa akifanya of late, amekuwa akiita watu amekuwa akitrend kucheki kama Mbavu sijui nani, anawaita kwa hiyo church yake, alafu anawajenga as a certain amount of money, alafu na sasa unajua watu wataanza tena kuongelea hiyo church fulani, alafu tena wajue mwenye hii church ni Pastor Kanyari, alafu tena wajue Pastor Kanyari kumbe anasimama mahali fulani. In short, ni hiyo attention ndio huyu jamaa Mazejo anatafuta. So apparently he was doing the same thing with Marion Naipei.
Kanyari oye! Kanyari ya! Weke sauti unimuhesha kwa mbele ama aje? Kanyari oye!
Bravo. Na bravo.
Mheshimiwa ni nani Kasarani? Nisikie tena, mheshimiwa ni nani? Tunawapenda sana. Dadi mimi namuita dadi. Dadi ametushikilia sana. I personally mimi ni testimony. Nilitolewa nguo venye nasema, mimi nilitolewa nguo. Na mkanianika pale kwa mtandao. Haikuwa mbaya. Ilikuwa nini? Ilikuwa mbaya. Lakini saa hii nipate pale kanisani Sunday. Wazi kuona. Napenda wakazi wa Njiru.
So venye umesikia, Marion Naipei alikuwa anapigia huyu jamaa campaign. You get me fam? Naipei anampigia campaign. Msanii alipwe. So we are not going to focus. Anampigia campaign. Msanii alipwe. So we are not going to focus on what hiyo campaign ni nini kitu anasema. Kitu tuna focus ni kwa hiyo speech yenye Marion Naipei ametoa. So venye umesikia, Marion Naipei claims that Pastor Kanyari alimtoa from the darkest of the darkest holes, yani kwenye mashimo, akamtoa kwenye hizo mashimo akamleta kwenye light. Mpaka siku hizi utampata kila Sunday tu ni church. Kama alifanya hivyo ama kama kufanya hivyo, it's none of my business, but yeye ana claim Pastor Kanyari changed her. So hivi majuzi Pastor Kanyari alikuja na akasema hivi, during this campaign this woman did something. What did she do?
Siasa alikunywa akajisahau, akaanza kutukana watu, kwenda wasimu nyinyi hata msituchague, tutaki kwa zeni. Ambia Naipei, jameni, unachoma, rudi kwa gari. Rudi kwa gari kwanza, hata akakojoa kwa gari yangu.
Buda, hizo ndio hadithi za klabu kwa chat.
Ni vile amekunywa.
Ukicheki hapo Pastor Kanyari ana claim that during this period of campaigning, apparently udem alikuwa anakuja kama amelewa, anaanza kuambia sijui kama mtaka kuvote mvote nini, hadi anaingia kwa gari yake sijui Lexus, hadi anakojoa. Hivyo ndo yeye amesema. That's not from my mouth. You get me fam? So now comes Manzi wa Mombasa. So Manzi wa Mombasa ni huyu. Na Manzi wa Mombasa So Manzi wa Mombasa apparently yeye ni churchmate wa Marion Naipei, according to the video that I played you earlier. Unaikumbuka? So here comes Manzi wa Mombasa and Marion Naipei.
Hi guys.
Yeah. So kuna kitu nimenotice actually in the lower time frame ya Bitcoin. Adika iko extremely clear. Ukirealize ukiangalia vitu utaona that hapa kuna high. So price iki break above your high in the lower time frame, mad in the higher time frame to execute buys. Yeah. But literally I'm also locked in the 30 minutes time frame. Hata kuona venye 30 minutes time frame ita close in the next 19 minutes. Ningependa sana close bullish above that level. So close bullish above that level tangoja tu ana time frame, simply because nimekuwa nikirealize that every time naingia buys off of the lower time frames na CH1, and by this I mean every time naingia trade wakati candlestick ime close in the lower time frame na CH1 huwa na lose trade. So nataka kuona how ita behave ikifika hapa lower time frame kwanza. Juu hii ni high, kumaanisha in the lower time frame hadi kama hawako powerful kuna sellers hapa, but waki break up out above your level na just hiyo inakuwa market structure shift in the lower time frame. Na obviously itakuja na snowballing effect, 30 minutes time frame ifuate, then 1 hour time frame ifuate. So if 30 minutes time frame, kwa hii time frame, if ita close candlestick above hii level, tutaingia buys. Kama ita close, tutamedi tu tuone the fucking 1 hour time frame close bullish, simple, above that level. That is what I'm waiting for. Yeah, nimeclear charts juu niko like hakuna haja ya kujiconfuse. Kuna haja ya kuwa na oil yes, 500 za nini ati na nini. Yeah, naona nikaa gold itasell. Nasdaq iko so fucking confusing. Na najua na curse a lot nitapunguza. Sijui market itafanyiwa nini. Nafaa kukaa huko chini kwanza. So sasa acha kwanza tu lock in na Bitcoin.
This Mariam I pay here. Basi wa Mombasa. Ouch, naona huku nimejam.
Look at these ugly women. Sasa mbona watu wengine wanapeangwa chance ya kuna watu hawafai hadi kupewa social media. Ati simu hawafai kupewa.
Jangori, bibi amejangori. Sijamgongea. Wanasema umekiss manzi yangu man. Nilimkiss lakini it's normal. That's my girlfriend. That's normal. I can't kiss again, it's normal. Babe, sijamgongea.
So ukiangalia hapo, sijui kama ni waite partners in crime ama nini. But kuna video fulani manze juu imekuwa ikitrend.
To hell with LGBTQ bruv. Cha kuogopa.
Hawa watu wawili wakifanya vitendo fulani, yani wakibusu, wakibusiana ama wakibusu.
Ukwela lazima alewe, ukwela. She's still young, my lovey. Maybe because you kissed my girlfriend, kiss me too though.
Kwa mchaina ni wapi?
Kiss. Yeah.
Sawa.
Hapo sasa. So, ukwela lazima akunywe, ukwela lazima ajibambe. Ukwela lazima. Ukwela lazima tu spoil. Malcolm hapo nyuma. Malcolm tuse.
Umecheki hizo vitu wanafanya? Unakumbuka alisema that she has changed. Pastor Kanyari alini change. Kila siku sijui Sunday niko kanisani alini change. Na kama ulidhani ni yote alikuwa anaitisha Malcolm. Malcolm ule wa machaji na manyonyo alikuwa anamuitisha kitu fulani. Nini hiyo Malcolm ulikuwa unaitishwa?
Mimi napenda Moro kabisa. Malcolm please. Malcolm.
Mara na kutafuta.
Malcolm mwambie. Malcolm mpe kitu baby. Shot moja tu. Peke yake. Moja tu.
Akuoneshe who you are.
I like a red track. Malcolm please.
Malcolm!
Respond Joe.
Hebu kutupatie Mariam.
Sipendi wasichana. Mimi napenda msolambo.
Haina shida za kubali. Kwani mimi nakusi. Nimeambia.
Hey!
Nimeambia.
Malcolm please.
Malcolm unapendwa na Mariam.
Malcolm.
Mariam ako single.
Malcolm.
Leo.
Mimi si Kanyari.
Okay, mimi Kanyari. Acha Kanyari. Hapana baby. Kanyari was just our pastor baby.
Oh.
Prophetess and Basha.
Please. Unaweza nipea Malcolm?
Kamoja tu, kamoja.
Kamwe.
Na uperform hiyo shot ya kwanza.
Kamwe.
Na perform vizuri.
So umesikia vitu anaitisha? Na ni kama tena anapenda tena watu wa majuu, watu wametoka tena majuu. Juu hadi ule James Opande alikuwa ametoka majuu. Mnakumbuka venye ladies mlikuwa kwenye comment section kwenye mavideo TikTok mkisema justice for Marion. Alafu wanaume wanakuja wanasema hiyo ni kazi yake. Yeye alikuwa anataka kufanya hivyo.
Kitu moja nimekuja ku understand, in every argument ya females against male, nani wanakuanga always right? Jijazieni.
Ni nini? I hope sasa mnaona the fruits of your complaining. Sio mimi nimesema, ni wewe unaona. Mimi nakupigia tu ma facts, okay? So after all this, Mazejo akakuwa hospitalized, but after aliget your stability ama after alikuwa tu just alikuwa stable kiasi Mazejo. Sikiza kitu alikuwa anaitisha.
unaweza pata amedragiwa na huyu dem.
Kabisa. Hebu panua mdomo, madam.
Fungua mdomo mama. Yeah, hivyo.
Panua.
Ayo, tobie tena wapi baby? Kagonge. Kajinja hivi. Tunaweza pata kajinja mali.
Acha ufala, hebu rudi na umo.
Pepo kwa mgonjwa anasema mbakajinja. Babe, kwani siku kwa mbele kuna nataka kutumia nini?
Acha tukuongeza nyingine, acha.
Anaambia gonga. Tumia.
So nimekupea hii story from A to Z, lakini kitu ndakuuliza, what do you think about this story? Lakini wahenga wanasema hivi, don't save her, she doesn't want to be saved. I think now nimekuelezea hiyo topic kinaga ubaga. So kama atakuja kuchange ama kama atakuja kuchange, mimi siyo judge, mimi siyo pastor, mimi siwezi change mtu. Ni wewe tu amwe kama unaweza taka kuchange. Anyway, it's none of my business. So kile nasema mimi sio mlambuzi, maana the chief advisor. Ukijisikia mazajo kwa Marion Naipe, mazajo utoke kwanza utoke kwa James Opande tena wingi kwa Kanyari, mazajo tena utoke Kanyari tena mazajo Abedna ni club tena mazajo na kila Sunday tena ni church. None of my business. Ukijisikia mazajo pia kwa Pastor Kanyari unatafuta kura, kumbe unatafuta watu wa kutafutia attention. None of my business. Ukijisikia mazajo kwetu kitu nataka kujisikia, none of my business. Kila mtu afanye anajisikia. Okay? Na usiniangalie hivyo, na usiniulize kunta, kwani hapa ni wapi umehamia? Tulia, mimi sio ngamia, lakini nahamia. Unataka kofi wewe? Really? Oh!
It should. Yeah, so I think we are going to go off stream. I'm going to end the stream. My intention was not to do so. I wanted you guys to see me actively executing a trade based off of structure, but it seems that price is freezing and it's not moving as I pleased. But let me wait for a few minutes. Let's go to Insta. Let me see. Oh, God damn, I tell you. This guy is so fucking funny. Your wife. The hell?
Wearing a belt to lift something that is less than 3 plates is like wearing a condom to do some hand jobs. Wearing a belt to lift something that is less than 3 plates is like wearing a condom to do some hand jobs. Wearing a belt to lift something that is less than 3 plates. Skinny boys with abs is like a fat girl with boobs. Skinny boys with abs is like a fat girl with boobs. Skinny boys with abs is like... The most stupid leg exercise is the goblet squats. Because the more of the tension is on the hands. It is very heavy on the hands. You're not even feeling it on your legs. These are stupid leg exercise. Never do this shit. Instead, you can do the normal squats. The most stupid leg exercise. This is the video that is going to change your life. So stay guided. Yeah. So the first step, you create your Deriv account. I'm going to give you a beginner-friendly strategy that is going to help you become profitable. Second step, log into TraderKit.pro. See the spelling. There are a lot of funny people out here. See the spelling, TraderKit.pro. Yeah? Third step, join my Telegram channel. Link on profile. So after logging into TraderKit.pro, you scroll sideways and see DTrader. You will see DTrader. Tap on DTrader. Then you will tap on accumulators. Scroll down to over and under. Yeah, you will tap on accumulators. Scroll down to over and under. Then you'll get a setup like this. Yeah. Make sure first thing, reduce your ticks to 1. There are always 5 ticks. Reduce it to 1. Then I want you to trade a less risky market. Under 8. For you to trade under 8, you tap on 8 to put the barrier on 8. You tap on 8 to put the barrier on 8. Then you study the flow and pattern of the cursor. The cursor is that moving pointer. Huh? You study the flow and pattern of the cursor. When the last trade type is digit 8 or 9, you press under. Or when the cursor touches digit 8 or 9, you press under. Another strategy is study the flow and pattern of the cursor. When you see the cursor is appearing strongly on the under 8 digits, you press under. It is all about digit psychology. Huh? It is all about digit psychology. The more you practice, the more you become better at it. You must understand that when you are learning a skill for the first time, you must first be bad at it. And the more you do it, the more you become better at it. I was at that point where you are right now. And now I'm at this point where I own a Mercedes. I own a Mercedes. Yeah. So the moment you will master this strategy, you'll also buy your first car. Do you believe you can buy your first car? Do you believe you can buy a Mercedes? Do you actually believe you can buy a Mercedes? Just look at yourself. Look at yourself. See yourself. Do you believe you can buy a Mercedes? Why are you doubting yourself? Join my Telegram channel, link on profile. Go through the tutorials and strategies. They'll help you become a profit.
Just have to wait a little bit.
Exceptional trader. End video. This is the video that is going.
Stay guided.
The moment you master this strategy, bro, you'll buy your own Mercedes. The moment you'll master this strategy, you'll buy your own Mercedes. So the first step is you create your Deriv account. Then you log into trade. Job, you're not humble. Job, you're not humble. Right now, what is this that I'm eating? I'm eating rice and beans and cabbage. pages to give you poor people hope. I'm eating rice and beans and cabbage to give you poor people hope. I bring myself to your level, but you still say that that I'm proud. Huh? I bring myself to your level. I lower my guard. I lower my guard, but you still see it as let's be guided.
Stay guided. Stay guided.
As we keep fit, we keep up.
So I think I'm going to cut the stream. See why you shouldn't get into a trade unless you see a 1 hour candlestick closure above a level. So somebody will have entered the trade around here. You need to see something like this. See, you need to see this candlestick. This one here. Let me show you. Something like that. You need to see something like that. So until then, we have to wait. Let me put the alert. Let me go to the 15-minute time frame. Should I put it there? No. Should put it here. Yeah. So guys, that is the end of the stream. Today was a pretty long stream. I actually was supposed to go to sleep, but I'm not going to do so. It's already late, so no need to sleep.